Liam Lawson's great performances in the few races he's participated in have sparked rumours of him continuing in Formula 1 next season, something that would be very well deserved. However, AlphaTauri recently confirmed that it was Tsunoda and Ricciardo who will drive next year, leaving Lawson probably in the role of a reserve driver. But rumours of Lawson being promised the Red Bull seat in 2025 are starting to spread, and with the recent Perez performance in Japan, could it be possible that Lawson is actually going to be an F1 driver in 2025 and will replace the Mexican, who's not driving by Red Bull standards this season? A year ago, there was little demand for Liam Lawson to be in an F1 car, and when the AlphaTauri spot that Nick de Vries ultimately claimed was up for grabs, Lawson's name wasn't at the forefront of any discussions. However, after an impressive stint filling in for the absent Daniel Ricciardo, Lawson has gathered significant momentum, and there's now a noticeable uproar, with many feeling that Red Bull has treated him unfairly by not considering him for the 2024 season. In Formula 1, being in the right place at the right time is crucial for a driver's entry, and unfortunately, Lawson hasn't had that perfect alignment. While he's had a commendable but not extraordinary career in Red Bull's junior ranks, he seized an unexpected opportunity in F1 with exceptional composure, swift adaptation to the car, and consistent race performance. Notably, he's outperformed Yuki Tsunoda in all 4 of the Grand Prix they've both participated in, and his 2-point score in Singapore has given AlphaTauri renewed hope of avoiding the bottom spot in the Constructors' Championship. Admittedly, the comparison with Tsunoda has been influenced by circumstances, and there's still uncertainty about Lawson's true speed, but in Japan, Lawson outperforms Tsunoda directly, making a compelling case for more significant opportunities. Regrettably, this stand-up performance at Suzuka occurred around 30 hours after the door was publicly closed on a 2024 AlphaTauri seat. And with Ricciardo and Tsunoda confirmed as next year's driver pairing, it's evident that Lawson will face an uphill battle. In a recent interview with Kleine Zeitung, Helmut Marko was all praise for Liam Lawson, as the 80-year-old said that the New Zealander definitely has all the potential to be a Grand Prix winner. And the Austrian believes that the 21-year-old has mastered all the tasks so far masterfully and under the most difficult conditions. He's a tough racer and one of the strongest drivers ever in a duel. With the role of reserve driver, he has a big task next year. He'll be there by 2025 at the latest, but he's already in a Formula 1 car anyway. Well, since both Red Bull and AlphaTauri already have a confirmed lineup for the 2024 season, it means that one of them may face the sack if Lawson is to join one of these 2 teams. Christian Horner, as well as Marko, were all praises for Liam and said he couldn't have done more to state his case. This indicates that, in reality, Lawson never had a genuine shot at that seat, as Red Bull had already solidified its plans, and the decision to retain Ricciardo for 2024 and keep Tsunoda was seemingly straightforward, despite Lawson's impressive temporary performances presenting a potential complication. While contract renewal for Tsunoda may have been speculated upon, it was only ever in doubt if Honda chose not to continue supporting him, which appeared highly unlikely, seeing the fellow countryman connection, and his performance this season has more than justified the enduring faith of both Honda and Red Bull. This made securing Honda's financial backing a mere formality, and as Red Bull Racing and AlphaTauri continue with Honda engines and Tsunoda maintains his form, it's highly probable that Honda will continue funding Tsunoda's seat. Ricciardo, with his impressive track record and broader appeal, brings indirect benefits in terms of commercial value. Lawson, on the other hand, lacks such a thing, and choosing between them ultimately boils down to what Red Bull desires. Tsunoda keeps Honda satisfied, brings in revenue, and has noticeably improved his performance, making him deserving of an F1 seat. Ricciardo's CV speaks for itself, and he checks many other boxes apart from his commercial appeal. And his performance, though limited by his hand injury, was satisfactory in the 2 races he participated in, as he offers experience in contrast to Tsunoda's youth, and it's highly convenient to have him in the car for a full season of scrutiny in case he's an option to replace Sergio Perez at Red Bull in 2025. Now, the importance of experience shouldn't be underestimated, as AlphaTauri aims for a blend of youth and experience as part of its new identity. Whatever this team is called next year, Red Bull insist on becoming more competitive and strengthening its technical alliance with Red Bull Racing. The choice of drivers is pivotal, and whether right or wrong, Red Bull doesn't believe Lawson provides enough of a performance boost to outweigh what he lacks compared to the other contenders. The Perez situation at Red Bull is very interesting. It's now, I believe, close to 100% certain that he'll drive for the entirety of the 2024 season. However, if he continues in 2024 like he's driving right now, with inconsistency at a high level, I wouldn't put past Helmut and Horner to replace him mid-season like they did with De Vries. Should that happen, we might see Lawson take up his seat, which will be a very interesting situation to pay attention to. That puts massive pressure on Perez now, because of continued performances like Japan, for example, and there are people ready to replace him. Red Bull has made it clear that Perez will not be driving in 2025, i.e. will not extend his contract, so it seems that Lawson's future in the top tier of motorsport won't centre solely on his current performance, but rather on time. His substitute appearances serve as a signal to Red Bull that they could have another rising star in their ranks in the years ahead. The team won't want to delay too much, especially after witnessing Oscar Piastri move to McLaren for Alpine after being kept on the sidelines. However, by placing emphasis on 2025, they appear to have granted themselves the necessary time to thoroughly assess their drivers before proceeding with two highly competitive lineups, brimming with a superb mix of talent, experience and potential depending on who partners Lawson. While this approach might appear somewhat unfair to Lawson at present, Red Bull seems to be adopting a long-term perspective, aiming to secure its future supremacy both in the midfield and at the forefront of the field. According to Lawrence Barretto, however, there's speculation that Red Bull might consider swapping Sergio Perez for Daniel Ricciardo in either mid-2024 or 2025. Barretto further suggests that AlphaTauri could then bring in Liam Lawson to replace Ricciardo, and the pressure is mounting on Perez as he's faced significant challenges this season. At 33 years old, Perez has secured just 2 victories, a stark contrast to his Red Bull teammate Max Verstappen, who has clinched 13 wins. Verstappen also holds an impressive 177-point lead over Perez in the standings, making him a strong contender for a 3rd consecutive title. And if Verstappen finishes 6th or higher in the upcoming Qatar Grand Prix sprint race, he'll secure the championship. Given these circumstances, Red Bull is likely to have high expectations for Perez, with the minimum requirement being a 2nd place finish in the championship. Presently, Perez maintains a 33-point lead over 3rd place Lewis Hamilton. Verstappen is unlikely to help Perez secure P2 in the driver's standings in the race on Sunday or in any other race until the end of the season. Last year in Brazil, Verstappen's collision with Hamilton and his subsequent approach to Perez demonstrated his unwavering determination, and Perez let him pass, but Verstappen couldn't make further progress. Ultimately, Verstappen chose not to give any points to Perez, and that's why I think it's doubtful that he would act differently this season, especially given their current standings. This is not the end for Lawson though, but rather the beginning. He has seriously impressed his bosses at Red Bull and AlphaTauri and successfully repaid their faith and investment in him, and that puts him in a strong position in the short term. Red Bull will continue to heavily invest in him through his role as a reserve driver for next season. That will mean embedding him in both Red Bull and AlphaTauri at all races next year, ensuring he continues to build relationships with mechanics and engineers and is fully plugged into debriefs and internal conversations. Whatever happens next season, Liam Lawson should not lose hope because he has proven himself to be worthy of a seat in Formula 1. And unlike Nick De Vries, for example, he actually has experience now and has scored points. Would it be in Red Bull, AlphaTauri, or maybe in Williams? Although both Horner and Lawson denied this, only time will tell, as we'll have to see how things turn out whenever push comes to shove. It's a very big thing for a guy with the stature of Marko to tell you that your future in F1 is guaranteed. And that's why I'm personally very glad that Lawson is finally getting recognition from fans and pundits as well, because he's one of the most talented drivers to ever come out of Red Bull's academy. The only thing he needs is a decent car and patience, and he'll definitely get a chance to prove what he can do properly, not just temporarily like this season. Thanks for watching this video. Let us know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below, and do you think Lawson should get an F1 seat in the future at Red Bull?